Hello. So as promised, I said I was going to do a video on dating men with children, right? So I wanted to give 4 basic tips for when you're dating someone with a child or children. Doesn't really matter how old they are. I feel like at every level, when you're dealing with someone's parent, that's always a sensitive trail, and you have to tread lightly when you're dealing with this individual. And I'm going to be 1,000% transparent with you all, so please do not get offended if you are already doing some of these things. Just take what resonates and let that be that. All right, so number 1, when you're dating someone with children, stay in your lane, and I cannot stress that enough. So one of the things I've actually run into was I was dating this guy. We hadn't been seeing each other for that long, but he did have a son who was about to be 3, I believe, and his child's mother did not want me around her son. Mind you, I ended up being around him because there was like a cookout or something that his sister had, and so basically the whole family was there. So I was just there as his date, and his son was there as well. So he never told me that his son was going to be there, but when I met him, I wasn't like taken aback. It was just like, oh, okay, that's his son. Like, wow, they look just alike, and I didn't play with his son. When his son spoke to me, I did say hello, but it wasn't like I was all in his face and, trying to get next to him or doing anything disrespectful. So after that, his cousin's girlfriend actually called his child's mom and let him know, like, hey, there was this woman and she was at the house and blah blah blah. So she's like, yeah, I don't want that B around my son. Well, she called me a young B because at the time I was like 19. So she's like, I don't want that young B around my son. And he got offended, and it showed me a lot about who he was as a person. I didn't take it as he's being respectful, I'm not going anywhere. I took it as, okay, this is your child's mother, and she's telling you she doesn't want this person around her son, which is understandable because we're still getting to know each other. So I had to let him know, like, I respect her wishes. If she doesn't want me around your son, it's fine. Like, I'm not offended by that at all. I respect her decision as a mom. And I made that very clear even to his family, like, hey, if she doesn't want me around him, it's cool. At the time, I was working with children, specifically children with special needs. I actually love kids. And so once the family got to know me better, they vouched for me, like, look, Love is really cool. Like, she would never hurt your child. Like, she's very down to earth, And with just me being myself and, like, staying in my lane, she respected me that much more. So when he and I got serious and, like, we started to go, I would, like, ride with him to go pick up his son, it was respected. Like, she would speak to me, I'd be like, hey, she'd grab his bags, put him in the car, and then we go out for the weekend and do whatever we were doing. So just stay in your lane. Like, recognize that a new partner is always going to be something difficult to deal with. It doesn't even matter if they're over him or not. And thankfully, the women he had children with, they were very respectful. I was never disrespected by either of them. Neither of them wanted him. So I never took it personally, like, oh, she's just attacking me. I genuinely took it as, okay, this is her baby and she's trying to protect him, which is cool. Next, avoid meeting them too soon. So obviously that situation for me was kind of unavoidable because he did not tell me, but, like, make that very clear. If they ever bring it up, like, oh, well, I really want you to meet my son. If you're not comfortable with that, don't do it. Like, do it when you're ready. Don't allow anyone to pressure you into meeting their child, because some people will use their children as pawns and, like, oh, well, how can you leave my baby's life? He's attached to you, or she's attached to you. And it's like, you and I are over, and, like, I don't even feel like I should put myself in a situation to be attached to a child when I don't even know if I'm going to be here. So with that being said, number 3, don't play mom/dad. That is not your role if you're not married to this individual. Some people are like, oh, I have to show him I will be a good parent. But a lot of people aren't even committed to themselves, right? And there are people who will allow you to meet their children and they're not that serious about you yet, or they just met you and like it's not cool. Like with my ex, like I said, I met his son. It was probably 2 months, if that, after we had started dating, and that is bizarre. Okay, it's different. It's just, that's not something that should just happen. And some people on the other hand are like, well, I want you to meet my son or my daughter because I want them to be a part of that process. And as a parent, that's really up to them. But when it comes to you meeting them, it's really up to you. And you decide what boundaries you will have within that. Even if you are deciding to meet them, okay, well, maybe we can go out and have lunch or go to the park or go see a movie, have dinner. But I don't feel comfortable having them spend the night over at our place, or I don't feel comfortable having certain conversations about adult things, you know, with this child because I'm not their parent. And like, there are different boundaries that are there that may not be clear cut. So just create them for yourself, especially if the parents don't already have certain rules and regulations in place. All right. Next, get to know the child. So a lot of people think that, okay, because I'm coming in and I'm an adult and I am married to this person now, or seriously dating this person now, that their child is just supposed to automatically take to you and respect you. There are a lot of children who desperately want their parents to get back together. There are a lot of children that don't understand my father is dating someone new or my mother is dating someone new. You cannot go into that situation thinking that it's just your birthright to have ties with that child. And it's essential that you build your own bond with them so that they can A, get to know you, but B, that they can even respect you, right? Because what happens is there becomes a disconnect there where this person came in, they were being very assertive, they were telling me what to do, they were making me feel like, you know, my parent, whichever one it was being taken away from me, and children don't like that. Aside from that, there can be some tension that the child feels because of the parent. Maybe the parent is uneasy with the other person dating you, you know, so all of that matters and is taken into account. But when you have your own personal relationship with the child, a lot of their parents' drama is a little overshadowed because now it's like they got to know you for themselves. They know you're a nice person, and children can be advocates for you to be around them. Like, mommy, I really like her. Mommy, I really like him, you know. And that matters. The child's opinion, it matters. I can't even stress that enough. And I don't know about you guys, but like, my father passed away when I was about to move out and go to college. I thank God that I had him for as long as I did. But when my mom started dating again, I was very uneasy because I felt like my father was the best thing that ever happened to her. She's a widow now. She doesn't know what she's doing. Her judgment is, you know, clouded, even though it was a significant amount of time later, right? I was uncomfortable with it. So you need that. So I hope these helped. Stay in your lane. Avoid meeting them too soon. Don't try to replace the other parent. And then also get to know the child. And that should help a lot. And obviously, this is related to dating. When it comes to like sugar daddies, you don't have to worry about this because you're not, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to have to meet their child. And if you did, their child will probably be your age, and that might be super awkward. But I will just say, keep your eyes peeled. There are a lot of people who have already been previously married and have children, so this is just a reality, and you can be prepared for that. I love you dearly. Bye.